Hello, America. Tonight, we're diving into the murky swamp of congressional stock trading. It's about as fun as it sounds. Imagine a world where your elected officials could legally use inside information to get rich. That's right, folks. While they're supposed to be serving the public, some members of Congress are playing the stock market like a personal piggy bank. This isn't about Democrats or Republicans. This is about a system rigged to benefit the few at the expense of the many. The very idea that those entrusted with power can profit from it, instead of representing their constituents, is enough to make you want to chuck your TV out the window. But don't do that, you'll miss the rest of this program. The issue here is trust, or rather the lack thereof. When Americans see their elected officials getting filthy rich while they struggle to make ends meet, it breeds cynicism and distrust in government. It makes you wonder, who are these people really working for? And it's not just a perception problem. There have been numerous instances of questionable trades, suggesting that some members of Congress might be using their positions for personal gain. Stay tuned, because we're about to shine a light on some of the shadiest dealings this town has ever seen. Now you might be thinking, John, surely there's a law against this kind of thing? Well, sort of. Enter the Stock Act, passed in 2012 with the noble intention of preventing insider trading by members of Congress. Sounds great, right? Here's the catch. The Stock Act is about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. It requires members of Congress to disclose their trades, but the deadlines are laughably long, and the penalties for non-compliance are a joke. We're talking about a measly $200 fine. For these folks, that's like finding a $20 bill in their Brooks Brothers suit. And guess what? It gets worse. The Stock Act is riddled with loopholes you could drive a Hummer through. For example, it doesn't apply to spouses. So, a member of Congress can just tip off their husband or wife, who can then make a killing on the stock market, all perfectly legal. This blatant disregard for the spirit of the law is frankly insulting. It's like saying, we'll pretend to care about insider trading, but we're not going to actually do anything that might hurt our chances of getting reelected. It's a slap in the face to every American who believes in fair play and honest government. Now, let's talk about performance. It turns out members of Congress are really good at making money in the stock market. Like, suspiciously good. Studies have shown that they consistently outperform the average investor, even beating out Wall Street professionals. Now, it's possible that they're all just financial geniuses, but let's be real, folks. Occam's razor, people. The more likely explanation is that they have access to information the rest of us don't. They're privy to confidential briefings, they rub shoulders with lobbyists, and they get to peek behind the curtain at companies that are about to rake in billions or go belly up. It's like playing poker with someone who can see everyone's cards. Not exactly a fair game, is it? Let's take a look at some specific examples, shall we? Remember when Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene made a killing on Tesla stock right after Elon Musk testified before Congress? Or how about all those members of Congress who invested heavily in pharmaceutical companies just before the government awarded them lucrative contracts? These are just a few examples of the blatant conflicts of interest that plague our government. It's enough to make you wonder if these elected officials are serving the people or their own stock portfolios. So what do the American people think about all this? Well, they're not thrilled, to say the least. Polls consistently show that a vast majority of Americans across party lines support banning members of Congress from trading individual stocks. It's not hard to see why. This is a classic case of do as I say, not as I do, and the American people are sick of it. Fortunately, there are a few brave souls in Congress who are actually trying to do something about this. Several bills have been introduced that would ban members of Congress from trading stocks, including the Ethics Act and the Trust in Congress Act. These bills would finally close the loopholes in the Stock Act and hold elected officials accountable for their actions. Of course, these bills face an uphill battle against the entrenched interests of those who benefit from the current system. But with enough public pressure, anything is possible. It's time for the American people to make their voices heard and demand that their elected officials put the interests of the country above their own personal enrichment. So what's the takeaway from all of this? The current system is broken. It's corrupt, it's unfair, and it undermines public trust in government. It's time for a change. It's time to ban members of Congress from trading stocks and restore integrity to our democracy.